One. Woohoo! Hey, 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 everybody. You guys already know it's your favorite girl, DJ, aka Dejanay Clemens. Today, we are doing another special interview with my great mentor, Aaron Fisher. How's everything going with you today?
All is well. All is well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty great. I'm pretty
Good.
blessed.
Good.
Um, for everybody, for the peeps to get to know and understand a little bit more about you, my relationship with Mr. Aaron Fisher, I kind of actually grew up with him during AXO. AXO is a awesome program helping pretty much high schoolers in the fields of arts, science, technology, business, entrepreneurship, you name really inspiring the folks of people of color to really get into the grasp of their skills and be innovative at a young age. And I was blessed to meet Mr. Aaron Fisher, who is an excellent, and exquisite artist that surprised me every single time with his work. Now, I know I can say so much about you, but I think the people would rather hear who the heck is Aaron Fisher.
Okay. Well, everybody, my name is Aaron Fisher. I'm originally from Princeton, New Jersey. I've lived in Somerset most of my life, but that's still my home. I am a visual artist. Big paintings are my thing. I work on big canvases. I'm also a graphic artist, and I am the visual arts mentor for the AXO program, like Dejanay was saying. That's where I met her, and I always tried to sneak her to get her to do art, you know. But yeah, that's my thing. Art is everything to me. You know, I started off at a place in New Brunswick called the Route One Flea Market. We used to make T-shirts there back in the day, and when I say back in the day, this was early 80s, and we had an airbrush stand and T-shirts with names and the hearts and all that stuff, and I did all the custom artwork there. So that's where I got familiar with my tool, which is 99% of my work is done with an airbrush. If you don't know what an airbrush is, it's something the same thing that a lot of ladies get their nails done with, a little. So that's what a lot of my work is done with. So if you've seen my work, that's why a lot of it is so smooth and the colors transition easily. You know, so I try to hide it so you don't know what it is. But so yeah, I worked there forever. I worked at every flea market in New Jersey, Route One Flea Market, Union Flea Market, Watchung Flea Market. We had a booth at every in every market. So you know, but yeah, that's and so by doing the T-shirts and learning the tool, I took it to canvas and started. You know, I says, well, if I can do it on a T-shirt, I could do it on a canvas, and took it from there and been doing that ever since. But I added the graphics. I taught myself graphics. I always said that I used to say graphics isn't real art until I started doing it, and it's actually the same thing. I mean, yes, it's techie, it's electric, but I don't know if you're familiar with a tablet. Do you work? Yeah. So the tablet is like a little square, like a drawing board. And I'm not talking about like an iPad or anything like that. So, you know, you paint on that and it comes up on your screen. And so I've done a lot of illustrations using that. And I also do a lot of, you know, business graphics and, you know, stuff like that for folks, you know, that it would take forever for you to do by hand, you know, not by hand, but, you know,
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, you know, I've been lucky enough to you know make a small living, you know, doing something that I love. So, yeah.
And you forgot to mention how many years have you been doing art, like fully?
Oh, yeah, professionally, I would say about 30 years now, 35 years. Yeah, wait a minute, 17, 40 years.
Okay.
I'm forgetting how old I am.
I know I'm quizzing you right now.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, what I really enjoy about you all the time is that you really grasp a whole beautiful insight and inspiration, and you choose true iconic figures from Barack Obama, Malcolm X to Martin Luther King, and you also have an eye for like kind of like almost like characters. I mean, I could show the folks better than tell the folks, but you have this real, true, in depth, like black, just power into your pieces. You got awesome. This is his Instagram, by the way. I was supposed to show the Facebook first, but
no problem.
Instagram. If you guys want to follow him on his Instagram, it's Aaron Fisher Artist. You definitely show some really cute parts, especially like here's one of Martin that definitely was like hilarious. This is one of your recent works. That's right?
Yeah. Somebody, my nephew had been asking me to do that.
Okay.
For years, and I always put him off, and finally, this girl do it for him for Father's Day. So I don't usually do stuff like that, but I mean, it doesn't matter. It's I'm into realism, so as long so as long as it's I can get something and pull it out, I'm fine. This one was hilarious though.
Yeah, I bet you had a lot of fun with this one. And then you have you have Tupac, which is really dope.
Yeah, the Tupac is pretty big. It's about 4 feet tall by 3 feet wide. So yeah, a lot of people think that one is a photograph. And I try to get as close as possible. I tell a lot of my clients that I'm not a camera. I'm not a Xerox machine. I get as close as I can.
That's what I mean. It's one thing seeing it on like Instagram and seeing it on Facebook, but if you guys ever get a chance when he does have another show, go meet it face to face. Meet his art face to face. It is precious and lively. And what's really iconic too about it is that how close you get to the subject's face, which is so fascinating. I know there's one particular piece you had of I'll find it pretty soon, but I really want to get into the depths of your inspiration, especially for your personal choices. Why do you choose certain figures? Do it attach to your inspiration, your motivation, and your goal in each art piece and such?
Well, it depends. A lot of times, since I was a kid, I've always studied magazines, the pictures in magazines, faces, and looked at the lighting and the shadows and even the body. What does the body? And I tell a lot of my students this when they're doing people or whatever. I says you got to figure out what the body is going to do. What is your, what does this muscle do when you turn your arm this way? Or what does that muscle, to make it come alive? I'm also inspired by, if I wanted, say somebody wanted me to do a Malcolm X, like you say, if you let me, I work from reference. So I always pick any, reference as far as heavy shadows and bright highlights. It's the combination of the two, makes for a brilliant painting. Now, if I'm painting off the top of my head, like some original pieces, I still take that into, consideration. I'll still use a reference, but I'll bend it, curve it. Yeah. It's not exact, but that's where I'm getting my lighting from. And like I said, I tell students lighting and your shadows very important. If you can master that, you can take it to the next level. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's really technically just the main part of almost every field of from photography, videography. Because y'all were always hard on me when it came to just lights. Lights is you're pretty much to make it a little bit easier for audience to understand, when we're talking about light and shadow, it's pretty much no different from what you're seeing right now in my piece. If I take this light out, pretty much I'm dark. You're not going to see but so much. But then when I turn it on, You'll see more of the whole being and the essence of myself. So what we're trying to do as artists, we're trying to mimic exactly how much light and how much shadow we're pretty much showing of that particular, even if it's an object or a person, it's the same technique, the same style. You just have to keep in mind of what I try to do. I say, how much of an amount do you see of that light on that person or that object? And when you put it in content and fashion like that, you'll be like, oh, I kind of get it. You just got to really get in the works. And that's what I really love about your inspiration. I just like that about your character, because you're a very chill, down to earth guy. And you let your work speak for itself.
And I love what I do. And it's funny because some of my best pieces, when I start them, it's like, oh, this is not going to be good. It always comes out, usually if my underdrawing is great, I know, I'm like, okay, this is good. This is going to be it, but sometimes your underdrawing may not be that good. And once you start, the black and white, it's like, I don't know. And then it starts to pop, it starts to come alive. Here we go, and then it really doesn't, no painting comes alive. Well, for me anyway, until I start off with darks, blacks, browns, and this is with portraits, blacks, browns, and then I do a mixture of like a yellows and reds. And see, with the airbrush, it's so easy to blend. So it's not like oils where you're just blocking in colors. I start painting with detail right away. And then, like I said, but then oranges, and depending on the skin tone, with brown people like us, I use a lot of deep darks, dark browns, oranges, reds. But it doesn't come alive until those white highlights.
That white.
It's like, and it pops out at you. Yeah.
Exactly. That is so true. I think, here it is. I got it. The Martin Luther King piece I want to show the folks. That's where you really show the life. Like, it looks, here we go. There we go. This is the piece right here.
Yeah.
How big is this piece, and when did you do this particular piece?
It's 22 by 28. I did that back in 1998.
Oh, so the time I was born.
1998. Yeah, 98, man. And that was like that. I won a lot of awards for that piece. And it's funny because I don't want to sell it. But I never want to sell a lot of my stuff, if it's mine, I do a lot of commissions for folks, and of course, keep that because that's sentimental to them. But this piece right here, I'm just like, I'm still in love with it. But this piece, like I said, I do mostly airbrush. If you look around, I did all the black first. And then you can see in his skin where the browns start coming in. If you look at his left cheek, there's some, that's where the oranges and then yellows in there. If you see his nose, and then the highlights on this piece are all. That's where I come. A lot of times I come in with a teeny tiny paintbrush, so the highlights are all brush, and they're just dots, sort of pointillism. So that's where the sweat on the other cheek comes in. Yeah. And even like the eyebrow is a hairbrush. Yeah, you can get a hairline, you get hairline thin with it once you learn to control it, because it becomes like an extension to your hand after a while. So you just have to start going. Yeah, but this piece is one of my favorite pieces, and when I show it, it's one of the favorite pieces.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's that's like one of your stamp imprint.
That's the one. Yeah. Because this year was given out at there were two Martin Luther King breakfasts. Yeah. Neither one didn't have anything to do with the other. One was up in where was it? Connecticut. And the Deltas did something. So I entered. There was a program online from a gallery, and they
Oh,
said submit, your Martin Luther King pieces, and so I submitted that, and they said this is the one that's chosen this year for the cover of this program that we're doing, and actually they gave the prints out to everybody that came, and the same thing happened down in Trenton. I met this guy. He's a freeholder. His name is Sam Frisbee, and he asked me if he could use this piece for the. It was a Martin Luther King ceremony, and then they also handed this piece out as prints at the AKA Breakfast for Martin Luther King for the holiday. So yeah, it keeps going and going, and that's the good thing about a lot of the pieces. You do your prints.
Prints, yeah.
You don't have to say your original. You just keep,
the print.
yeah. So,
oh my gosh, man.
Then that makes the original worth a little bit, more. So, yeah.
And how long? Do you remember how long the entire piece took you?
I worked. Well, put it this way. Right now, I'm telling folks like I'm backed up with commissions. So it might take me months to get to, only because I'm backed up. Once I get to it, doesn't take me long at all. And only because, I'll tell you in reference to why, when I worked at the flea markets where I started, the turnaround time was fast. So we'd have to zoom through it. So if I put it this way, from start to finish, if I were to just keep doing it, maybe a few hours. And, yeah. So, but I start. Then I stop. Then my studio's in my basement, so I come upstairs and do something. And you have to want to do it at the time. You can't not want to, like, I don't feel like painting right now. No, don't paint then, because it'll look like you don't feel like painting. So,
and when do you really like figure out that time, like when you grasp the whole motivation time, like? Do you feel like how do you get yourself prepared to even do this like huge type pieces and stuff? Do you pretty much study other works or get yourself into the whole realms to like, I don't know, music or such? Or how do you really get yourself mentally prepared to do a piece? Because that takes a lot of.
Yeah, once I got it drawn out and it's okay, that's that, just pencil. I mean, I'm ready to go. And once I pick it up and start painting, it's like, okay, because a lot of times I figure like, oh my God, it's going to take me forever. And then once I'm going, I'm like, okay, and I got it down. And once I get that form down, everything from there is just mixing colors and bringing it to life. Yeah. And
you mentioned too earlier too that you teach about your students about the importance of skills and technique and, situations and stuff. One more again, I forgot. How many years have you been doing mentoring for AXO again?
I would say this coming year would be maybe my 11th, 12th year. I mean, I've been in there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because a friend of mine is the one who got me into that. They wanted her to be the arts mentor. I had never heard of AXO before. And she lived a ways from here. So she called me up and said, would you like to do it? And I went and talked to the, the folks there, and I've been a part of it ever since and never looked back, So, and now it's like virtual. So it's a whole different experience.
Yeah.
We did a ceremony for virtual.
Yeah, that's right. And how's that going? How did that go
pretty
with
cool.
Doing the competition on virtual?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. First I was like, this ain't gonna work. Now it was fun. We did it via Zoom. All the judges were on the side. The kids were in the middle, showing their pieces. We talked to them, interviewed them, scored them. It was great. Yeah. So it can be done.
Well, I'm glad to hear it went through successfully. That was like a big, like huge thing. I know that was like probably like one of the most troubling times in that special, but I'm glad that it went successful. We got two good questions over here, by the way, by our audience. One is from my lovely auntie. She said, do you have to meditate to do a piece?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't meditate.
Okay.
No, I just I just do it.
You do it.
Yeah. Okay. I got it. Let's go down and get down. And that's it. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And then here's another good question from my mommy. And she said, do you need to capture the eyes before you start painting? That's a great question.
I always start with the eyes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Always. I mean, that's it. If you don't get those right, it ain't right. But it's usually the eyes and the nose.
Yeah.
That's how I start. Eyes, nose, mouth, and then face shape, and then detail. Yeah.
Then detail.
Yeah. Because face shape is important. I mean, it's all important. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah. But those eyes, though, they tell a story. So you got to nail them. Mm-hmm.
It's the main, pretty much the main ingredient to the canvas. It's pretty much the one that shows automatically the expression and gives the mood.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to have, I always remember that it's important to have that clarity into that art piece. That number one, when you get that focus and when you can get that grip, that's the part of the expression that can help others read off of, okay, this is light. This is actually something genuine. This is actually motivational and dedication. This, you're able to really distinguish through the facial expressions.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, how long did it really take you to really get the whole idea of putting the expression onto the screen? Like, what made you really get into that grip of that type of style and technique?
Well, my motivation a lot of times is other artists, and it's funny because some people can be sort of intimidated by other artists, but I love it, and I go in, check them out, and see how they do stuff. And I remember I met this one guy at a show. He was on some next level, and I watched him, and I'm like, okay, I can take it there. We can go to this next step. I'm missing out on how I'm portraying my images. So it made me go like he was doing eyes, but then he made them look wet.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people just do eyes. It's just an eyeball. That spherical shape, and that's it with the one little light dot in the middle. No, the eyeball is wet. It's a wet object, so you have to make it look wet. I throw veins in there. There's a picture of Miles Davis. I don't know if he's.
I think I just passed that.
There's two of them in there though. Go
right here.
No, not that one.
Oh nope,
there's another one.
Is it all the way up?
I'm trying to figure. I can't figure out where you are. There's so many on here. Keep going.
I know, right?
Keep pulling down. Oh no, it's up. Go pull up. It's down the bottom towards the bottom. And I'll let you zoom in and I'll show you. Keep going.
There we go. I know I might get it. It's not too far anyway. No, you get it somewhere.
Right there. Stop.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know if you can zoom in on it, but if you could see the
I got you.
Yeah. So you see where it looks like it's kind of wet and moist.
Yeah.
On the left side, you can see the veins and
yeah, I see them.
You see, and the pupil is in there. So yeah, try to make it pop out. But yeah, it's a lot of detail. The shadows. There's shadows in the white part. Like a lot of folks just draw white. The whites of the eyes are white. They're actually not white. A lot of times they're bluish color, a grayish color, and there's always a shadow because of that top lid that's covering. So it's just detail. That's all.
That's really all it is.
Yeah.
And what was you didn't say the size of this one again? What was
this? 15 by 30 on canvas.
Wow.
I paint on canvas and I paint a lot on wood.
Ooh.
Yeah. The Tupac Shakur is on wood.
That one's on wood?
Yeah, it's a big piece of wood. Mm-hmm.
Excuse me.
And oh my God. There's also a graphic. If you go back, it's
Okay.
all the way at the top.
Gotcha. Let's show the top.
Go all the way up. It's a watch. The next one.
Oh yes, the Rolex.
Yeah, so that's
this one.
I was practicing with my tablet, so
Right.
that's all freehand, and it's a graphic illustration. And what I do, since I can use the airbrush, the real one, I can use that tool in my program. So I can, I use it just like I'm painting. So that's how I get the, everything to look sort of like it's real.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So and that's right, because you use what was the program again that you use for when you're doing your graphic designing and logos and such?
There's a few. I use Corel Painter, Photoshop, and Illustrator. And see, a lot of people think Photoshop is just for photos. No, you can illustrate in there, Yeah, that's a new phrase now. When you see stuff, oh, that's Photoshop. You can't mess with people. You can put somebody's head on, you could put my head on your body and vice versa. But it was actually made for photos at first. But no, you can actually draw and paint in the program.
Yeah, and then here's the funny part. I learned, I remember when we were talking before we got onto the live, because one of the people, my mom said it in her comment. My mom said, "You only work with oils." Here's the fun fact: none of it is oil.
No. acrylic and ink. That's it.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I was like, I did the same thing too. I was like, wait, what? You nail it to the point where you can fool people and say, oh yeah, no, it's not oil. That's just acrylic. And that's what makes it like even mind blowing, is that how it works so well with it that you make it look like it's a different medium. And I just really truly enjoy all the time. I always enjoy having a conversation with you and just a little picking off your brain and stuff and coming back to you and like, hey, Mr. Richard, what's up? How you doing? I'm just so glad to have you along to this project of interviewing you and just picking your brain about the artistry and stuff. And
very cool.
I want to tell me your point of view of how you feel about today's artwork and such. Not only just with you being an artist, but seeing other artists really grasp and getting their whole style and technique into the world.
Yeah, it's like contagious now. I guess it's because of the world of social media. Everybody is on there doing it, and you see so many pieces that are like, wow. It's like, man, because back in the day, it wasn't. You didn't see this many Black artists.
Yeah.
Again, back in the day, we also didn't have a lot of social media. I was around before there was internet, so you gotta remember. But no, there's a lot. So many good pieces. There's some bad stuff too, but you see a lot of mind blowing stuff out there. It's like, wow. Yeah, because I'm friends with a lot of people on IG and Facebook that are fellow artists. I don't know them, but we kind of appreciate, each other's work. Yeah.
Oh man. And here brings to you the last awesome question I ask everybody. How do you use art to change the world?
I guess I could say that I like to brighten your day. If you can look at my piece and smile, or just get like a good positive feeling from it, that's it. I love when people, they see my stuff and they smile, like, wow, I love that, or, and they get kind of excited,
Yeah.
Oh, that makes my day. Yeah. So
I know. I'm just so happy, and I'm so glad that I got you along on this.
oh, you call me anytime.
I know, right? I know that for instance. That's easy to go. It's just like one click, boom. All right, cool. I'm right here, man. What's up? You know, you're full of joy. And I'm just so grateful to really just to come back and have you come to this time and show my appreciation to you and your works, because you work so well, you work so hard, you have this amazing vision that you just do it exactly what you say, you just do it. And I love that about you. And I just pray that as you continue on and you continue to not just do your artistry or also mentoring, but I just pray that God continue to keep that whole brightness and painting and just work just shining. And I know that throughout all your years have completely, and even still to this day, is still paying off, because even like you said with the Martin Luther King piece, you did that in 1998 and still people still want that particular piece. So your artistry is always going to be relevant till this day. And even your words and your inspiration still lives into this day, because, hey, I'm doing what I love doing. So if you guys want to see more of Mr. Aaron Fisher's artwork, definitely please go onto his Facebook. You can add him as a friend and you can see more of his lovely, lovely work right here on his portfolio. Pretty much, yeah, his Facebook is his portfolio. See more of his whole artwork. And you definitely promote and show any what's the word, posters or information of where you're going to have more art gallery shows and soon.
Oh yeah.
I mean, due to this situation, it's a little delayed, but I know you're going to have some more future posters and information, mostly on your Facebook. And if you don't even have Facebook or such, it's okay. He also has an Instagram.
IG also, yeah.
Let me share that real quick. Make sure the Instagram. Boop. There we go. You guys can also go on to the Instagram too. And he has his website right over here.
Right.
So definitely, I just thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for giving that beautiful insight and some inspiration to get inside our minds. But most importantly, but most importantly, we got to remember that art can change this world. So once again, thank you guys so much. It was Mr. Aaron Fisher. So definitely, guys, please support the heck out of him. He could do some work and great artwork for you too. And he's very willing to just speak to you and talk to you and chill with you if you want to as well. You guys, we're going to love one another. We're going to hug one another safely, virtually. But most importantly, we're going to do art together. Thank you so much for tuning, and definitely stay more for next week. We're going to have a spoken word artist. You don't want to miss that. And also, this video will be on YouTube if you miss any type of show or such. Thank you so much again for your time, Mr. Fisher. And I pray we have some more collaboration soon.
Cool. Bye-bye.